Are we live? All right, I think we're live. And we're back in the kitchen. Today I want to do something fun and easy. You know, this carnivore meat diet has been a really interesting journey, but it's been very good for me. I'm feeling a lot better, a lot less brain fog. I don't want to call it depression, but the mornings were always kind of bumpy for me. So that's gone. The energy levels are up. But after a month or two of eating ground beef and ribeyes and tenderloins, you got to come up with something fun. So we are beginning to experiment with how we can add recipes back in that make this a little bit more enjoyable or different. And I know we all love tacos. And the nice thing about a taco is you can put, or quesadilla, or you know what I'm talking about, that stuff that goes on the little pieces of bread. The nice thing about that is you can put on it whatever works for you. So if we're having a party and we want to have tacos, I just don't want to have the corn and flour stuff. I need something that's a protein tortilla. And with this, I can put my stuff on it and everybody else can put their stuff on it. So this recipe, the first time I tried it, it was a little like, not sure, but once we heated it up, let it set, let it actually kind of meld together for a day and give it a little bit of flavor, it was awesome. So we're going to do something very simple. This is an all protein tortilla recipe. So we have the Vitamix. You can also use your food processor. And I have about 1 cup of chicken. Now the way I fix the chicken is I just took chicken breast, put it in a boiling water and broiled it. And you got to watch the chicken when you're cooking it because you need to use a meat thermometer. I pulled it out at 160 degrees. Overcooked chicken is awful. You could also use turkey. You can use any part of the chicken you want. And so we're going to put that in here in the blender, the Vitamix. Okay, and I've got 2 eggs. All right, so 2 eggs. And the first time we made this, I made it without salt. That was a little weak. So about a 1/4 teaspoon I think we need. I'm going to keep experimenting with that. And this goes into the Vitamix. Now, the challenge becomes the consistency of this and how it blends. So we're just going to hit the blender and see how we do. And then, all right, so we took a quick pause because I'm going to add another egg to this. This one, I think I had a little more chicken than last time, so I'm going to add a 3rd egg to this. And we're going to add just a bit of water. So you're going to have to play with this at home because it kind of depends on the size of your eggs, how much chicken you have, how dry the chicken is. And let's see if we can make this work now. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we have chicken and eggs. We're going to take it out of here. I think a food processor might be a little bit easier because it doesn't get stuck like this does in the blender. Now, as you can see, where did my spatula go? Spatula is over here. We're just going to take this nice little mixture, put it in a bowl so we have something we can work with. And it's nice and creamy. And we're going to add a little bit more. Now, the reason I didn't want to put the cream in there is I didn't want it to turn into heavy whipping cream. You know what I mean? Cream can turn into weird stuff. So we'll just blend this up until we get a nice, you know what I call light pancake batter consistency. And you can play with this. We've done it a couple times. I keep trying to get it perfected. But we have a nice creamy batter right now. And as you can see, this will pour nicely and easily. And so we're going to come over to our skillet. You can put this on a skillet. This is we love the Hexaclad pans. Whoa, that one's hot on the bottom. Woohoo! So we're going to cool that down just a little bit. A little bit of steam in the kitchen, honey. You know what they call this? A forest fire without the fire. Okay, so we're going to hit this with just a little bit of avocado oil. You could also use tallow, and you could use butter. All right, so we took a brief commercial break. I added a little bit more water to this to make it thinner. And we are going to try one more time, and we are making it thinner, and we're giving a little bit of ladle to it to spread it out. We want this to go as thin as we can without being a mess, a petunia. There we go. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. The original recipe I had, this came out way too thick, and each time I make it, I've had to experiment with trying to get it exactly right. But you can see this is bubbling very nicely now. I've got the burner on about a 3 out of 10. So we're going to just go slow and low and let this bubble. This is bubbling much more nicely than it was before. Much more nicely. Much more nicelier. And we're not going to disturb it because it needs a full minute of cooking on low. Low is going to be good. It's still getting a little bit thick. But I think I better leave it the way it is, because if I start messing with it, it's not going to be good. But I'm the kind of guy that messes with stuff. My wife is not, which is why sometimes her videos are better than mine, because they are mess-free. And mine always have a little bit of mess in them. Okay? But it's fun to do this. I think that's why when I was a kid I liked making pancakes, because you could do fun stuff. Okay, so we're cooking low and slow. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's looking great now. Okay, here we go. That's great. Okay, so now we're going to have a nice cheese, or not egg. What do we have in here? We have eggs and a chicken tortillas. We'll just pat that down. We're filming this real time so you can see how fun and easy this is to do. We may have to edit a little bit out to make it go faster, in case everybody gets bored and tired of looking. And we just want to, you know, I was listening to somebody talk about how to cook something the other day. They're cooking salmon, and they said, when you get good at this, the salmon talks to you and it tells you when it's done. So I don't know quite what it means when the tortilla talks to you and tells you it's done, but I'm listening carefully for this to tell me when it's done, because that's what great chefs do. They listen to their food, and their food tells them when it's done. And this says, take me off, take me off, take me off. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so that will cool, and then we will have a tortilla. And we're going to take a quick pause. I'm going to set up, and we're going to give you, this is going to be a soft tortilla, and then we're going to give you a crispy tortilla, forced out. Let's continue our journey toward a more carnivore, meat-oriented diet, which means we're not eating grains, we're eating proteins. So that means that taco shells are kind of out the window, right? Blue corn tortillas, orange corn taco shells, all that stuff out the window when we're taking grains out of our diet. So this one's actually kind of fun. Everybody loves cheese on their tacos. So we're going to make a taco shell out of cheese, and then we're going to put the taco meat inside the cheese taco. Now, cheese-wise, we prefer Manchego cheese. We get this at Costco. It's a great value. It's a goat cheese, and it seems to work and test well for everything we do. So this we love. And what we do is we buy several blocks at a time. We take one and cut it up. It goes through the food processor. Highly recommend that everybody have a food processor in the kitchen. It saves a lot of time from going like this. But you could also use mozzarella cheese or sharp cheese. Now these two cheeses, you're seeing a lot more of this in the store. This is called an A2 dairy. It's a whole different concept in dairy. We won't get into that today, but A2 is showing up a lot. And this is from grass-fed cows, regeneratively raised on, organic grass. How about that, organic grass? But this is a great cheese. It's more expensive. Mozzarella you can try with. So you experiment with what works for you. So we grated up a bunch of cheese, and then we just store this in a plastic bag. So all we're going to do for this is our preparation for when they come out, is we're just going to take our cookie sheet, and I put a little bit of parchment paper on it, and we are going to make 2. Okay, we're just going to make 2 to keep this easy. And we just need to put this into a round shape that's going to go in the oven. So this is going to go in the oven for about 10 minutes. We're going to take a commercial break while these are cooking. But get them nice and big so you have a nice taco shell to work with. But thin. Okay, they're going to all connect together, trust me. Cheryl loves these. She loves her cheese. I do too. And the Manchego cheese has been our favorite for many years. Once we had to get off of dairy, Manchego worked really well. And now that they've got the A2, we're finding that that is a big win as well. Okay, so we've got 2 taco shells ready to go. When they come out, we're going to hang them over this to make our taco shells the right shape. And then, of course, we have these really cool little taco things to put them in once we're ready to go. So off we go. Now the Prevail is our home kitchen oven. We use this all the time for everything. Come on over here, Cheryl. And I've just got it set at 400 degrees, and we're going to set it for 10 minutes. But we are going to keep a sharp eye on it because we don't want our shells to over crispy up. We want them to be just right. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes to see how this plays out. Now, while our taco shells are cooking, we went to idea number 2. Cheryl looked at me and she said, you know what else we can do? We can make cheese chips, because Yep, we have a lot of cheese to work with. So she got out our little Silpat muffin, baby muffin tin, and I just put a little bit of cheese in each one of these. All right, and we put it on a little cookie sheet. And as soon as the other taco shells come out, I'm going to put these into the other oven, and I'll bet you we could come up with some fun ideas for this. We might even cook this with meat. A lot of things you could do with it, but the key is we have a base that if you're eating more of a carnivore meat-based diet, which cheese is, we have something else fun to play with. So we'll come back to these in just a few minutes. And we're back. These have been cooking about 13 minutes. You're going to need to watch them in your oven because it's going to vary based on the amount of cheese you have. So I've kept a close eye on them, and I think we're going to call it good. Now I'm using a fish spatula because I need something really light to go underneath these. But what I watch for is they're golden brown, and you can see I can actually pick them up and move them. Okay, so this is telling me they're about right. So they're crispy, but they're going to bend it still for us. So I'm going to call this good. Now, while these are getting ready, we're going to take, well, I call these the love bites. And the reason that love bites is I got done making them. Cheryl said, you've touched every one of them. But the good news is they're going in the oven at 400 degrees. That's going to sterilize them, but the love is still there from when they got the love bite touch. So those are going in. We'll set that for 10 minutes. And we're going to take these over. And this is the tricky part. Okay, so we have this special system here that we have to be very careful with. So this is going to fold over this very quickly without burning, and it's already wanting to firm up. So there we go. There we go. Okay. Well, let's try one of these, Cheryl. I want to see how this works. We just got this. I saw these on Amazon. I thought they would be fun. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. We're going to take this one and put it in here too. Now you got to have fingers of steel to do this because these are hot tamales. Okay. So that's going to be beautiful. So we're going to have nice crispy taco shells here. We're going to let them cool, and then Cheryl is going to try them and tell me how we did. It is time to see how it all came out. Now I'm here to tell you, after doing these videos, the folks that do cooking shows, it's a lot of work doing a cooking show, but here's our little bites. These are great. They came out cute. They got a little oil on them, so you just have to dab them off on a paper towel. And then we don't have a lot out here, but if you were having a party and had some avocados and some regular dip, these would be great dippers, okay? And you just play with your cheese and figure out which kind of cheese you like, okay? Because this isn't very pretty, but you could put black olives on here. You could put anchovies on here. You could put sardines on here. You could put just about anything you want, but the only thing missing, that's really good. The only thing missing is a slice of avocado. Unfortunately, right now, avocados are not on my list, but if I were serving these with avocados and some really good salsa, they would be a win. Now, Cheryl already had lunch with the soft tortillas. All right, so I'm going to use a small one for me because she's even hungrier, but we can just take, again, let's start with some ground beef. Now, when I do the ground beef, I get grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef at Natural Grocers because it's like $7 a pound. So this is one of the most affordable forms of ground beef I can get. Where's the right spoon? Cheryl said to do a certain technique with this, but that's not going to work because all hands are on deck holding everything. Now, again, if we put a little lettuce on here, if you're good with lettuce, a little bit of avocado, a little bit of salsa, we are off to the races. And you could even put some more cheese on, but remember, we got cheese everywhere tonight. It's a nice change from having ribeye every day. To have a little bit of bread texture, a little bit of meat texture, sour cream works, and then you get to play with whatever you do. So the nice thing about these is you can make a party, put out everything you want, and then everybody can eat what works best for their diet. And then we've got, these came out just beautiful. These are the cheese ones. And again, I'm going to try it. I'm actually getting really full because if y'all know me, I've been snacking the whole time we've been doing this, and now I don't feel like eating. I had to finish off the extra chicken. Abby's out barking at the squirrels out there, so she's enjoying being a dog. And let's see if I don't even know if I can get this in my mouth, Cheryl, but let's find out. You know what? It's crispy, it's crunchy. It's just like a corn tortilla, except it's not corn. And it does break just like corn does. And if you had it stuffed with all the right stuff, I really like it. So you've got a soft tortilla, you've got a hard taco shell, you've got little cheese crisp, we've got some ground beef, sour cream, and then you add whatever you want to bring this back to life. Oh, by the way, when we're cooking these in the oven, you just got to keep an eye on them and pull them out when they get crispy. There's not, I did these at 400, but you got to watch them. Every cheese is going to cook differently because of the oil content and oil amount in them. So for now, Forrest out. See you.